I'm sure we've all had that thought whilst playing GTA. I want to see my hometown in a GTA game. Well, someone from Scotland did have that 3 AM intrusive thought, and in today's video, we're going to explore the world he has created. And also, I had a chat with the developer to understand all the details. My research into this video led to a rabbit hole of information, and I am so excited to share it all with you. So sit down, relax, and crack open an iron brew. To start off with, I want to go back. I want to talk about how I even found this, and what led to this exciting discovery. I open TikTok probably once a month. I tried to avoid using it, but weirdly I only opened it due to the absolute nonsense notifications from it. The first thing I was greeted with was a post from Lindsay Clark, a singer from Scotland, stating how her boyfriend was working on a game based in Paisley in Scotland. Now of course I had 1,000,001 questions, and you probably do too. So I reached out to her, and sure enough, her partner reached out and agreed to answer some questions about the project. But firstly, what is this? What are we actually looking at here? Well, a developer from Scotland has created a game called Crystal Garden, which is based on his local town, a name of which was taken from his local Chinese takeaway. And if we compare everything in this game to its real world locations, the attention to detail is absolutely insane. Everything from the lighting to the weather dynamics feel quintessentially Scottish. If you're from the UK, you'll recognise some of these landmarks and this carpet from your visits to your local cinema. The longer you look at some of these locations, the more you realise how clever the design elements really are. The textures of the floor, the window signage, and even the interiors. We also have assets like bollards and custom artwork included in the in-game advertisements, which is something that I'll touch on later. So the first question I asked was, why did you start it? Where did the idea even come from? This answer sounds like a downer, but it's not, I promise. The main reason I started this was a creative reaction to things not lasting very long, and wanting to preserve locations in specific periods of time. Photos and video are good for that, but there's something satisfying about an interactive environment that a video can't give you, even if it's only a pixelated approximation. The main game related inspirations are Broken Sword, Theme Hospital, Resident Evil, and the skate park creator in Tony Hawk games, and most obviously Grand Theft Auto. I have a distinct memory, which I'm sure a lot of guys will have had, in 2001 when GTA 3 was released, which was, I want my hometown version of this. My next question was, how long has this taken you? I've been doing visual related stuff like graphic design and animation for about 15 years, and the very first thing I made that's related to this project was about 4 years ago. It started off with a bunch of 3D models like the Crystal Garden Chinese takeaway and the Showcase Cinema, with the intention of making digital artwork to basically sell and make some money. I then thought about trying to make a game, and as with any venture into unknown territory, there is that little peak of thinking you know what you're doing, and the more I learn, the more I realise how little I know. I won't pretend to know the first thing about game development in a meaningful sense, but I feel programs like Unreal Engine are making it easier for people to approach game development. Now, me as an outsider looking in on this game, the biggest question I had was, what were some of the challenges during this process? Because I don't know too much about the process of developing games themselves, especially in Unreal Engine. So for me, I can't really wrap my head around how someone can just have this idea and make it happen. So for me, a question that I was really curious about was, what were some of the challenges you faced during the process of making it? I kind of touched on this in the previous answer, but the biggest challenge is always realizing you know very little when you feel like you're making a lot of progress. I don't know if I'm rotten in the mind, but I quite enjoy that. I think learning new software gives me the same feeling every time in a nostalgic kind of way. Late nights trying to find the right bit of info to get past a problem, and you can see the environment / song or video coming together without any external interference. Now this is something that me as a YouTuber I can relate to. For me, at night is the time when most of my videos are recorded, edited, scripts are written, because that is the time where, for the most part, I'm by myself. I have a little bit of music in the background, I'm able to research, I'm able to write, and I'm able to concentrate. And that's where 8 PM all of a sudden comes 3 AM. Now the next question is something that you're all probably wondering. What's going to happen to this? Is this game going to come out? When's it going to come out? So my question was, what is the end goal, if there is one, and where do you see the project going? I'd love to make money from it, of course. It's hard out here for a pimp. Aside from financial gain, the end goal is to have a playable game with a mystery/puzzle element and a focus on character interaction similar to a point-and-click adventure game, but in a semi-open world format, which is most definitely not new or unique idea. The game Stray has been a very recent influence, and I think it's a rare masterpiece that does everything so well. Even though my project Crystal Garden is set in a real-life location, one of them being 99 Neilston Road, Paisley, I think a lot of people all over the UK could enjoy the fact it's a game set in an environment containing architecture and street furniture they're very familiar with. Now for me, being British, this is something that I'm quite interested in. Playing Grand Theft Auto games, they are of course incredible, in my opinion the best games ever made. However, there is no getting around the fact that as British people, we can't really relate to the environments. I know people in LA can relate to GTA 5, I know people in New York can relate to Liberty City, and I know people in Florida will be able to relate to Vice City for GTA 6. But me being British, a lot of these cultural norms in America and some of the locations and the way things are done, even things like vehicle design, like Americans have huge vehicles, they're not things that as British people we resonate with. To us, Grand Theft Auto is really just the game. We only really understand 90% of the cultural references, and some of the attention to detail is lost on us because we don't really look at how houses are made in Florida. So the attention to detail that Rockstar are going to put in for GTA 6 is a little bit lost on us. Now, since my chat with a developer, my mind has been racing. I've been trying to look at realistic growth opportunities for this to actually become something that the community can play one day. Now, of course, I can't speak on behalf of the developer here, but I do have some ideas. This guy deserves to get paid for his work, and more importantly, it needs to be something that can potentially evolve over time. I think the best course of action for this game is to have adverts on the actual billboards in the game, or potentially have real shops or restaurants advertising within the game. Not to the extent that it's no longer Paisley, but more to the extent where it feels like a model that can evolve and of course make money. I know that a lot of the community feel like everything should be free and games developers shouldn't make money. It's quite a toxic mindset where a lot of people seem to feel like games developers owe them everything rather than let's actually pay the developers for their hard work. But just to understand how impressive this is, you've got to remember this isn't 5 people, this isn't 10 people, it's not 100 people, this is one guy building this game. Last night I jumped on a call with Fishy and Bailey Points, and after showing them this footage, we all came to the same conclusion. The dark undertones, especially with the lack of NPCs, feels like this game is screaming to be a mystery game, where you randomly wake up in Paisley and have to find out where everyone is, what happened, why you're there. And Bovine thing, if you need voice actors, we're more than happy to do it. Personally, I would love this to become a final product, however, there are no guarantees. But honestly, if you want to support this incredibly cool indie game, the pinned comment on this video has all the links to go and support him. The truth is, this comes down to the community to help make this commercially viable. There isn't a team of people working on this, like I said before, it's just one guy. And to make this possible, we have to generate demand, which will do things like attract storefronts, attract advertisers, but also just raise general awareness and potentially provide investors for this project. Now, of course, this may not be the goal for the developer, and I can't speak on behalf of the developer, but I know from a business point of view, this has to make sense as a business. I also want to say a huge thank you to the Bovine thing, as he provided me with all the footage on this game to make this video. He also provided the music and all the materials to enable me to document this. And also a thank you is in order for Lindsay for initially showing the world this project. Make sure you stream her music. Overall, I'm excited where this leads, and of course, I'll keep you all updated. Please, I urge you all, go to the pinned comment on this video and go and show some love on all the social media and help keep this project alive. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.